Hey, so today we'll talk about the memory and the world models. I wrote a book about the world models or fundamental work models, and everything gets started actually from the robotics and the need of AI to understand the physics to control the robots. So it's the first world models was the models that explain the environment to the agents and mainly the physics. And you could see a lot of such things. Even NVIDIA made one. But when we go to the agent-to-agent interaction, maybe we need different foundational world models that explain the environment of these agents, business rules, and more focus on the tasks that agents should do to effectively operate. And if you're talking about the enterprises, actually it will be completely different setup that you need to understand the business domain, how the business operate, what's to do, what's not, with whom you could share the data and all of things. If you will start talking about a quite big topic of the world models that right now we're trying to reinvent, in particular, I want to talk about the vibe engineering and how the vibe engineering is different from the vibe coding and why we need the fundamental world models for this. Actually, vibe coding right now looks like a gambling and really boost your dopamine because you could have two big cases. One case you just explain him what you want and gets exactly what you want. Another case that you just get the garbage with even fake it out language construction of your language. And the disaster start not when you need to write one time demo or CLI, but you have multi-months projects that needs to be run, and then in some point you completely forget your decisions, and the main strategy in this case is just to regenerate the entire code, and sometimes it's not the option. So then what people start to do, they try to give the context and memory to the coding projects. But what kind of memory it could be? Could it be code? Probably not, because code is the side effect. Code does not explain intent. Code does not explain design. Code does not explain so many different things. And that's why for decades we have the problems that architecture diagrams and code that implement the architecture diagrams have a huge impedance. That's why we need the fundamental world models for engineering projects. And actually, I'm not talking about something completely new. We have it for decades. And I not mean the boring UML diagrams, no. And I don't even mean the C4 diagrams that are actually quite useful and could be used as a part of the specification. And part of the specification is already interesting thing because we have seen the spec kit from the GitHub that actually is quite agentic coding oriented, but still doesn't have everything that we want to have because you need to run and create the architecture diagram that explain your functional and non-functional requirements and some measurable cases that could be executed as a spec. So it's executable spec that will validate your functional and non-functional requirements. Then you have this more human-like requirements that needs to explain the business logic and what programs needs to do and how it needs to behave. And these specs should be translated or semi-translated with the agents to set of tests. And what's more important, you also need to specify how you want to generate the code or how you want to write the code, what kind of rules, what kind of patterns, what kind of best practices you want to use to achieve this idea. And actually, your high-level architecture, together with the set of functional and non-functional requirements, with the set of requirements how you want to see the code, actually form the big part of your world model for the agent. And the rest of the thing you should somehow set the context and the world model of the senior engineer that have in hands so many different things. But these world models of the senior engineer you need to express in some measurable things that agents could run and check against. Some of them is easy to implement. Some of them is quite hard. But actually we need the fundamental world model that capture the world model of your project, your business requirements, your non-functional requirements, and your code generation rules. Because yes, the agent is yet another code generator, and we don't need to reinvent the things from seal because we already do it for decades, and we even have some bootstrap projects that have it in some kind of DSLs that allows you to link from the requirements to the generated code. We just need to bring them back and use them as a memory backbone of fundamental world model for the coding. And I will share one of this template below the video that could be used as a good starting point. But the spec kit is also almost there. So if you want, just give it a try. Read my memory books, read my world model book. It's much broader for the agentic AI than coding, but for coding, we still need to get 20 years old decade best practices, but right now translated to the agent scope. That's all that I was keen to share with you. See you next time. Choose.